on the topic of immigration, the Vice President said to my colleague Chuck Todd over the weekend, the border is secure. Does the White House stand by those comments that the border is secure?
I'm just going to refer back to the Vice President. We agree with her. She is saying that there's a lot of work to do, right? She also said that in that very statement. We agree that the border is secure, but there is still more work to be done.
Wow, man, if that's secure, I hate to see chaos. Critics of the busing claim it is cruel to be shipping people all over the country. Supporters say the border is totally overrun and blue states should help absorb some of the masses. Who's right here? We need to turn to a rationalist. So tonight I welcome California Republican Congressman and House Judiciary Committee member, the Honorable Darrell Issa is back. Welcome back, sir.
Well, it's good to be on, Kennedy, and it's good to remember that if Kamala is secure, she's secure in the position that they're flooding the borders with the people they want to have come to this country for their purposes. You know, there are 3 million new immigrants this year, and you say 3 million, I thought it was 2. Well, there's 1 million legal immigrants and 2 million illegal. By the end of the year, it'll be 4 million. 1 million that came in through the front door after years of waiting and going through a long and difficult process, and 3 million who, like the interview you saw at the Vice President's home, they heard, they came, and they were welcome.
Yeah, and that's what they're seeing on the news. So if they're hearing from friends and family members how easy it is to get into the country, why wouldn't they come over? If they're leaving places that have been just decimated by the drug war, why wouldn't they make the trek if there is abundance here? And like you said, we got in for free. We didn't have to pay anybody. But it's interesting, your fellow Californian, Governor Gavin Newsom, tweeting, what Governor Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott are doing isn't clever. It's cruel. I'm formally requesting the DOJ begin an immediate investigation into these inhumane efforts to use kids as political pawns. So flying people to different parts of the country in the dead of night with no warning, isn't that exactly what the Biden administration has been doing?
You know, in San Diego, I see it happen every day. When I've been at the Mexican border, I watch them being picked up, put in buses to go directly to our airport. I guess the cruelty is that most of these people have been put on buses, where most of Biden's people apparently been put on airplanes, and that must be less cruel. But let's understand something, Kennedy. What is sanctuary if it is not a welcome mat asking people to come? My state is a sanctuary state. Other governors who don't want to run sanctuaries should be able to send them there. The same is true of New York and Washington, D.C. Until they get there, then suddenly they want these immigrants to ruin red states. They don't want them to overpopulate or give economic challenges to blue states. And that's for good reason. Citizens in blue states, Democrat voters, don't want those people in their backyard either.
So what do you do with them, and what do you do in terms of policy? The White House, the Vice President as well, saying Congress has not done enough to act on this. Is there any appetite to pass any meaningful immigration reform? Not even comprehensive, anything.
Kennedy, I came here 22 years ago with George W. Bush, who held out a hand for comprehensive reform and saw his fingers chewed off by those who just wanted the amnesty and didn't want any reforms that would keep him having to do it again and again and again. The fact is, they're not looking for immigration reform. They're simply looking for what they're getting, and now they have it. And I've got to tell you, they couldn't be happier. I haven't had one Democrat come to me to talk about working out any compromise immigration. Why should they? They have what they have, which is an open border. Unfortunately, we have what we have, which is over 100,000 people so far that will die this year from fentanyl. The fact is, we need to control our borders, if for no other reason than to control the illegal activity separately from these millions of people that are being welcomed here around a system that, yes, the system could do better, but let's be honest, whether it's 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million, there's got to be a number, and once you reach that number, you've got to be able to say no to the rest. They don't want that no, and I don't want our country to be without borders, security, and opportunity for those who are already here.
Yeah, every other country has a much more robust immigration system. I am one of the people that I feel that people should be able to come to this country and work, because if they can come to this country, work humanely, chances are they're going to go back. They're not doing that now because they're terrified if they come in, they'll never be able to get back out because there is such lawlessness and chaos. And, you know, it has created its own black market shadow economy. The vice president will never address that, and she will never meaningfully fix this issue for which she is ill-prepared. Congressman Issa, always good to talk to you.
You're exactly right.
Thank you, dear. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it.